Hey, what's up everybody? Jamie from Full Bench Gaming. Today we're going to be taking a look at what I thought was going to be the second place list, but turns out we'll be actually doing the first place list because, as we can tell, they have actually released a list. We also had one of the boys from Tazzy sent through a picture before, so it was kind of yep, we could probably do this, so it's not a huge deal, but now we actually have the list on Limitless for a good just visual kind of easy representation in a list form. So let's go ahead and get into it. So this is the first place winning deck from the recent Brisbane Regional Championship, or not regional tournament. I guess it would be a regional champion, I'm not sure. So Brisbane Regionals, and here, can I fit it all in one? Yeah, just barely. Here is the list. So we'll start out, 3 Zoroark, 3 Zoroark-GX. Interesting in the sense that it doesn't run the typical 4/4. I think the reason that this is done is because it's not the main player in this deck. It's the draw engine. It's the draw engine and a backup attacker. So 3/3, perfectly fine. When you're setting up, I found that 1, maybe 2 Zoroark is really all you need, and you really want that bench space open for Ninetales and for the Decidueyes. Which brings us on to our next. Don't need to do that. Brings us on to our next in the list. 3 Rowlet, 3 Decidueye-GX. So the Rowlet and the Decidueye, it snuck up. It snuck up on us. It was there for the past couple regionals, but it was kind of one of those ones that only really started gaining popularity when it hit popularity again when it hit Lost Thunder. So a lot of people are kind of like, "Oh, Decidueye, what are you talking about?" I saw a couple people on some of the Pokemon sites that I am following and stuff like that, talking about how they didn't want Decidueyes because they were worried about the rotation. Rotation is so far away, guys. This is a good card. This has been consistently in top 8 for quite a long time. Do not pass up on your opportunity to get these if you do have the opportunity. Decidueye, if we look at it, there we go. Feather Arrow, its ability. That is the reason why it's in here, and that is the reason why you want to get it set up quickly. Once during your turn, before you attack, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. There you go. So you're putting 20 damage on one of your opponent's Pokemon per Decidueye per turn. So you want Decidueye set up early, and you want generally 2 to 3. 3 is that yummy number. 2 is the necessary number, and you want them set up early so that you can start accumulating damage. You want to start putting the 20s, putting the 20s, putting the 20s. Eventually, it really helps make that math add up in the end. So there she is. 3 Rowlet, pretty standard that there is no Dartrix. I believe it's a Dartrix. You want the 60 HP for the Elms. I'm not sure if there's even another Rowlet out. There might be, but yeah, 60 HP for the Elms. Yeah, and then you are looking to get Decidueyes quickly by using and abusing, ta-da, Alolan Ninetales-GX, the card of Lost Thunder, in my opinion. Ability, Mysterious Guidance. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 item cards. Reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Very good card for consistency, especially for Stage 2 decks. Stage 2 decks rely very heavily on being able to set up quickly in order to not fall behind in games, and the Ninetales lets that happen, whether or not you're searching for just 2 straight up rare candies or a rare candy. And I think, does this list run? Yep. And the Timer Ball. Generally it just feels really good to have this card in your deck, and that's why there's 2 of them. 3 Vulpix for consistency, and Also because it's a Beacon Vulpix. So Beacon Vulpix lets you search for 2 Pokemon, reveal them, put them into your hand, shuffle your deck. Really, really good for Stage 2 decks. So you're using and abusing this combo right here to set up your Zoroark, set up your Decidueyes, get those out on the field, and just going. 2 Tapu Lele, pretty standard. I've seen 2, 3, somewhere I think 2 is a good number. Ditto Prism, super necessary. What is it? Almighty? Yeah, Almighty Evolution. Once your turn, you may put any Stage 1 card from your hand into this Pokemon. To evolve it, you can't use this ability during your first turn or the turn this Pokemon was put into play. Really good. It's basically just like a blank card that you can evolve into your Zoroarks or into your Ninetales. Great for consistency, and only unfortunate part is you can't like rare candy it to a Decidueye, but you have plenty of other Pokemon that can use it also. The Oranguru, I think, is an interesting choice. I think it was put in there specifically for control decks and stuff that wanted to get rid of stuff. That's a flex spot, and this is the first place deck, so it obviously was a good add. So moving on into our trainers. 4 Elms Lecture, necessary. You can maybe cut it back to 3, but you're losing out on consistency with your opening turns. 3 Cynthia, pretty plain and simple right there. 3 Guzma, yep. 2 Acerola, very good for keeping up with decks that maybe trade better than you, that trade Pokemon better for prizes. You know, no GX decks, and say maybe, you know, you got in a hit once and you really just don't want to get knocked out, slap the Acerola down. So there you go. You got Judges, just one of them. Very good disruption. A Mallow, which pairs very well with your Zoroark. For any of you that don't know, Mallow lets you search your deck for 2 cards, shuffle your deck, then put those cards on top in any order. Very good. Where are we at? Mallow, Ultra Ball. I keep scrolling. I don't need to scroll. 4 of them. Standard ball searches OP. 3 Rare Candy. So 3 Rare Candy is dangerous, but I think that because he put the Oranguru in, he is not worried too much about it. But I would probably just go for Rare Candy, just for consistency's sake. But he's also probably cutting one because he has the Ninetales, and he doesn't have to rely on just raw drawing into it. And you could just search them. I think it leaves you open to getting... I've had 3 candies prized in one turn, and if that happens, you just lose. Or in one game, and you just lose. Max Potion. 2 of them. Same idea here. Those big Stage 2 decks, they really like having some sort of full healing cards inside, so because they have generally a lot of HP, and it hurts to really work to get that HP nice and low, getting ready for a knockout, and then have them just, you know, wipe it all away with a Max Potion or an Acerola. So that's why they're there. Timer Ball, 1 of them, just great for setup. 1 Counter Catcher. It's I mean, a good card. I would probably keep it in there, obviously, and it just gives you some flexibility, not needing to Guzma. You can Counter Catcher if you're behind and bring up one of their Pokemon and then use a supporter. It's just a good card to have, I would say. Enhanced Hammer. I think the logic behind this one, what I was in the group that I'm in was saying, was that it's there for the Buzzwole matchups. It's there for the Zoro-Lycanroc matchups. I think that it was also kind of settled on that it can be cut because of the downswing in those decks, but I think it's just good to have. Good to have for flexibility. 1 Rescue Stretcher. 1 Switch. Switch is, I think, a really good card to have in basically any deck that, you know, isn't Ultra Road or something like that. 2 Choice Band, hitting numbers, and a counter gain for coming back coming back into games that you're behind in and needing less energy. Energy-wise, 4 double colorless for, you know, Zoroark, for Ninetales, whatever, you know, just energy. 2 rainbow energy and 2 fairy energy. This 2-2 split is an interesting one. 2 rainbow because, for one, you don't have any grass energy, and the Decidueye needs a grass to attack. If you need him to attack, I feel like Decidueyes are never really... you never want to attack with a Decidueye. You always want it to just be on your bench and sniping. Alolan Ninetales is generally your, like, feel-good. And your Zoroark is really kind of the other feel-good attacker. So the double colorless is there really for Zoroark to be able to attack, and then your fairy energy there for the Ninetales, and also the rainbow energy is there for the Ninetales, with the off chance that you maybe need to attack with the Decidueye or GX with the Decidueye, or even use a Lele GX. I forget what it's even called. I barely even use it. Yeah, I can't. Tapu Cure GX. That just, it allows you to Tapu Cure also. So yeah, there's that deck. I think an interesting deck. I did some testing with it. I just couldn't wrap my head around the actual the deep, dark, you know, corners of the gameplay enough to feel comfortable with bringing it to Brisbane. I have showed you guys my deck that I brought. Uses the Ninetales also. Uses a lot of these same kind of cards, except it just goes with the Swampert instead of the Zoroark, and the Solgaleo instead of, like, you know, the other kind of... It really is just a Gardevoir deck. Yeah, so this one right here, very, very good deck, and actually has a lot of really good matchups against a lot of different decks. I think it does struggle a bit against Blacephalon. I think it does. I forget what the actual other counter for it is. It's in... yeah, it doesn't really have any super hard counters, I don't think. I feel like maybe Buzzwole. I feel like it was Buzzwole. Yeah, can't remember. And then Zoro Control. Zoro Control, I feel like does have a good matchup against this deck. And it really just comes down to, can you set up your Decidueyes quickly? And can you maximize your Alolan Ninetales spread? Can you maximize the spread from the Decidueye? Can you just maximize everything quickly before something, you know, something happens and you are stunted in your growth, and you're not able to start spreading damage easily and all that jazz. So that's the main idea behind this. I think it took let's just take a look. It took first and second, and fourth. So very, very good showing at Brisbane Regionals. 1, 2, 3 of them, and then we had a Lycanroc, 2 Granbulls, and 2 Malamars. I think they were both spread. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious that it's a strong deck. It's called the quote-unquote Brocan deck because I believe Mr. Rukan Shah, I think that's his name. He came up with this deck. He also came up with Gascan, which is a Malamar variant, and I'm a huge fan of the Malamar variant. I really like his deck building. I think it's really, really smart, and is definitely something to keep your eye on. Anything that he posts, as far as, like, here's a deck list, because he's always tested it very thoroughly, and he's a really smart deck builder. So with that being said, thanks for hanging out, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and take a look at our sponsors over at No Josh Collectibles. I'll be putting a link in the actual description of this, and I will also put a link in the description on Facebook also. Come and check out our Facebook, Full Bench Gaming, facebook.com/fullbenchgaming. We also have a YouTube. Let me just go ahead and check it out, guys. Full Bench Gaming right here. Just go ahead and click the like button. And then also we have our YouTube, Full Bench Gaming. Go ahead and just take a look at it, guys. We have our live streams. We posted our Brisbane Regionals recap. When we open packs, we put it there. It's a lot of fun. So with that being said, thanks guys, and we'll see you next time.